Hello everyone and welcome to another video and what is the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Early Access Beta. If you pre-order the game you can play it from the 22nd, which is the day I'm recording, but it will be open to everyone from the 24th. So, while we're waiting for the shaders to optimize, I thought we'd run through the graphics and talk about the test system I'm using today. I am of course using the AMD Athlon 3000G with integrated Vega 3 graphics, overclocked from 1100 to 1650 MHz. I'll wait till the full game is released before I benchmark more hardware. I thought we'd go in at the deep end today with the 3000G. This is going to be the most challenging, please excuse my dog's feet on the floor, this is going to be the most challenging video I think, and the most challenging hardware to actually get playable frame rates with. But if I just hide the overlay for a second, we jump straight into the graphical menu. You can see we're using the Vega 3 graphics as part of the 3000G. I've gone with 720p resolution, and when it comes to the quality options, at the moment I've got 100% scaling. This will probably change. We've also got AMD FSR available, everything at our disposal to help out this low-end chip. When it comes to the other settings, well, everything is set to its respective lowest. Anti-aliasing SMAA T2X is as low as we can go. Everything else is turned down to minimum or off depending on the option available. We've just got to wait a little bit longer for the shaders to optimize. Almost done now, but once they are, we'll jump into a game and see how Modern Warfare 2 runs with nothing but the integrated Vega graphics. So we'll cut to the actual gameplay and I'll join you, thanks to the power of editing, in a few seconds. Okay, note, before the game starts we're going to need to enable FSR here. 20 FPS at 720p native is simply not going to cut it. I'm going to jump into the graphics menu and quickly enable FSR. Let's move the overlay out the way. Let's just hit performance here. So this is going to look at its worst basically. Ultra quality will keep a very high quality to the overall visual presentation, and performance, there you go, look, increases frame rate the most but will visibly impact image quality. Couldn't have said it better myself, COD. Let's get back into it. Enable the overlay and 25 FPS. Oh my goodness, it's still not playable. What do I have to do? I mean, we're running overclocked. The iGPU is overclocked. This is my first game as well, so I apologise if I just suck, but that was probably going to be a given anyway. Yeah, we are running overclocked up from 1100 to 1650 megahertz. So yeah, this is basically pushing all we can out of the Athlon as it is. We've got 3200 megahertz DDR4 in dual channel, 16 gigs of the stuff. This isn't actually awful to play, you know, it doesn't feel terrible. We'll jump back into the settings in a moment and see if we can improve things. I just need to find a place to hide so that I don't get totally wiped out while doing so. If we sort of sit here, we'll jump into the settings. What we'll actually do is we'll go to the, where's the option? Can I not change it? Oh yes, here we are. We'll keep that as performance, but we'll also, I know what we'll do. We'll turn FSR off and we'll lower the render resolution down to 960 by 540. That's probably not too different from what FSR is giving us anyway. Oh, 30 FPS. Oh yes, here we go. Now we're talking playable frames. Let's go and see if we can wipe out an enemy. I mean, this doesn't look particularly good. Come on. Oh, look at that. A drop to 26 FPS there. Alright, so we're back in the game. 30 FPS. Not bad at all. Well, it's not good, put it that way, but it's better than I thought. Now, we do actually have a couple of other graphics options available in terms of resolution settings, and I'm just going to find another little place to hide so that I can tweak those. Again, I'm not sure what it's going to do to the recording, so I might cut in a minute and then jump back in, but we can go lower than 720p even still, which is always a nice touch. even with these modern games. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you 720 by 576. This is actually a little more playable, but I don't think it's personally worth the visual sacrifice. I'd rather play at what we had it on before, which was, well, I can't even remember. But this is not the one. This is not how I would recommend playing in the slightest. 720 by 576. I think we should have just remained with the lower render resolution, because we are still hitting around 30 less than on occasion. Yeah, not the best experience in the world. I think 720p with a lowered render res was probably the best bet. I think we'll actually switch back to that. I am playing Invasion, which is like a 40-person game, so don't tell me I actually killed someone. Would you look at that, at this low resolution? Can you believe it? And another one. We got another one. If only they knew the hardware I was playing on. What I think we'll do, yeah, as I was saying before, by the way, this is Invasion, so it's 40 players, so these are the bigger games. More players, perhaps that means more stress on the system. Maybe smaller maps and games will run a little better. And of course, things are subject to change as well with the full release. We'll have to wait and see just how things change when the game does come out in late October. So we'll be testing it again with more hardware, of course. Yeah, here we are back at 960 by 540 render res with a sort of native 1280 by 720 starting point. I definitely suggest playing like this instead. I know it's not perfect, but I am certainly impressed. We've got 2 cores and 4 threads and Vega 3 graphics, so I really can't complain too much, you know. I think it's actually pretty remarkable that this thing is still going strong in 2022. Yeah, if you're a pro COD player, you're not going to have the best time, that's for sure, but you're going to have a time. That's all I can say. I don't think I've moved out of the same square meter area since actually starting gameplay on this map. But, you know, I'm having fun. I'm sure you can hear it in my cold-ridden voice that I am having fun, and I think you probably could too at this resolution with these settings. 30 FPS, I didn't think it was going to be possible, but I'd certainly recommend overclocking the iGPU, because otherwise you might be looking at closer to 20 to 25 frames per second, or maybe 15 to 20, and that obviously isn't going to be as enjoyable as it is here. This is an absolute mess. 40 players is just, it's fun, but I mean, I'm getting shot every 5 seconds. If I was a little better at the game, this obviously wouldn't happen, but there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's one. This actually gives me pretty high hopes for the final release and the 5700G, as well as Intel integrated graphics. I think we're going to get solid or decent performance, perhaps even 60 FPS if we turn things way down like we have today. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Did it? Oh yes, look at that, another wipeout. I don't know if that was... Oh, there we go. I'm going to... Well, defeat. There we go. I'm going to leave it at that. The screen's flickering now. That's not the recording software. That's just a glitch with the system. I don't think the Vega graphics are dying. But who knows? Thank you very much for watching then. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I've turned the flickering off because it might upset some of you. So, yeah, it was making my eyes go a bit funny there. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a dislike if you didn't. Let me know what you think of the Vega 3 and Athlon in action. And hopefully I'll see all of you in the next one.